The Matt Mosley Show. And it is a Thursday, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of talk out there on a lot of fronts. I just came on, just did a live hit. Scotty, I protected the sanctity of our show. I was asked to be on Colin Cowherd's National The Herd show at 1:10 today. And I briefly thought about, well, we could start our show a little late, and I can still do that. And I thought, I think everybody would be cool with that. But then I just said, you know what? This is my, I gotta protect our house. I gotta protect our space. So I protected the 1 to 3 sanctity, and they built around us. They changed their ask to 1240. So unfortunately, I do have to take off my glasses when I do that show. And that's always fun, too, because I hear from my friends like at Fox, Mike Ducey, who loves when I go on that show. And I hear from a lot of people. Usually, Scotty, you and Pete would have been watching it, but I didn't really give you all a heads up. And I think y'all are in there commiserating and visiting and having a beautiful post-show moment while Mosley I was just desperate to talk to America. I was ready to get going. But thanks to, the thing about Pete, he's very loyal to the Mosley Show, and he kind of likes to see kind of where we're going to go each day. And the truth is, I don't always have a clue where I want to go. We just kind of get it going and let it go where it wants to go. And yesterday was the big early signing day in college football. It was kind of like a sad day for Baylor. I thought there were some good moments. I think people are kind of arguing now over if Dave Aranda had another viral moment. And I got to say, well, I tell you, nothing kind of gets a show going like a good throat clearing. I need like a mic. I need a little cough button like we have in radio. How would I do that? Just kind of, anyway, Dave, I walk in a little late, and it'll shock no one. I was racing down, and I encounter this in this beautiful theater in the Fudge Center. The Fudge Center, that sounds fun. Fudge Development Center. I found the great Dave Aranda had already started, and he was going over video footage of some of the different players in the recruiting class. And to do this, he was sitting on the floor, and I had this immediate reaction to that. I'm like, well, that's odd. And Scotty, there he is talking about, now we can say it. Yesterday I was trying to protect. London Smith wanted to do his own fun announcement, and so we were not putting it out there, but now it's official, so we can do this. But to the assembled media, we were told there was an embargo on the London Smith. But here he is talking about the great London Smith. And Dave, and there's Grayson. You can see Grayson with his phone. Boy, he's right up there in front of everybody. I, at some point, sneak in, and I'm back like here somewhere. I'm back like, back on the other side. But I'm leaning in, hearing all this. But Dave is crisscross applesauce on the ground, pointing at the video, which I know, I was fine with. He's just kind of down there doing his thing. Now, I don't know. A lot of times I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know this would be that big of a thing. But I kind of had a sense of it because I said to somebody, I go, how many college coaches, this is, I was eating afterwards. Scotty, I was racing over there after the deal. Did I take the time to quickly devour some brisket and some sausage? I think maybe some Blackmar over there. Blake, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I was with Dave Aranda. I had a little private time with Aranda, and my focus was not where it needed to be. I see the great Blackmar, and I didn't give him what he deserved. I did not, I kind of didn't. I don't know. I was too locked into other stuff. So anyway, if Blackmar's watching, I'm sorry, buddy. I think the world of you. But I think he was maybe the one doing the barbecue. The barbecue was great. Oh my gosh, the sides, the mac and cheese. And so anyway, I had a little bit of that. And then I raced over to the studio to do our show yesterday. Now, Scotty, I did not understand. So I did say to somebody, what other college coaches would get down on the ground and do that? And I just think right now, so many people are mad at the Baylor program and mad at President Livingstone and the whole situation that everything Dave does is kind of like, oh my gosh, they're going to dunk on him. All right. So to some, that was a weird deal. To some people, they're like, hey, I thought that was kind of cool. Even the mighty T-Rex, the man who has been known to F-bomb everybody. I mean, I'm sure he's been mad at me at some point. But, he was kind of talking about, hey, that was kind of a cool deal. So anyway, I thought whoever thought that up, whether that was Brent Ingram or Dave or whoever kind of came up with that idea, I thought it was a really good idea. The Dave being down on the ground, I promise you, no one in Baylor PR told him, Dave, I think you should get down on the ground to do this. That was Dave being Dave. And again, I didn't really see that big of a problem with it because he's down there in front of us, visiting with us. I didn't notice he was even mic'd up because I couldn't hear him that well from where I was sitting. But then I think for Baylor's sort of YouTube purposes and all, he was mic'd up. And maybe the TV people had him kind of mic'd up. And then they did an impromptu over in the corner. We went over and we did the media thing with Dave. And we're going to let you hear some of that. Now, Scotty, at some point, maybe tomorrow, maybe today, I don't know. I'll see if they put it out, how quickly they put it out. But I did just come off of appearing with Colin Cowherd. And that's always fun. And I threw out a lot of Cowboy stuff. And then I threw out, Scotty, I was asked about the Longhorns and the Longhorns' chances. And boy, he's been defending the Longhorns. And I kind of went at the Longhorns for, and I think this is accurate. I get that they had great wins. The Vandy win was a great win. The Oklahoma on a neutral field, as always, great win. In Austin against the Ags, no problem. Those are great wins. But the point I made is, half the season they played poorly. There was a UTEP game. Mississippi State, they had to go to overtime. Kentucky, they had to go to overtime. I just don't think this is the Texas team to go to the wall for. Oh, my gosh, they got penalized for playing Ohio State. Not really. Because obviously the committee has embarrassed itself in some ways. And, Scotty, what is today? Thursday. So Tuesday, when Hunter Yurachek, who was apparently a Baylor AD candidate, when Hunter Yurachek got up there and spoke, he gets into this well, we like the start that who was that he was talking about, Scotty? Because I think they were talking about who passed who. Oh, Alabama passing Notre Dame. Alabama had a great first half. Then they had, Auburn got back in the game. But in a big moment, Alabama went for it and got it 4th and 2. Are we really doing this as a committee? I mean, you've got to stop getting whoever's preparing the CFP people. Mac did a little bit of it. Mac did a deal where he's like, we like what happened in that one game. You can't boil things down to they had a great first half and then they did a really good thing on 4th and 2. Meanwhile, the team that beat the Vols, guess why the Vols got knocked all the way out of the top 25? Because Vandy beat up on them so much. They beat them 45-24. And some of the reasoning given was somehow Vandy won so big, the Vols aren't even the top 25 anymore. Oh, so that's not impressive anymore? What Vandy did? I mean, whoever is saying, and Bowlesby was saying this, the great Bob Bowles, thank you, CNB. Thank you, Central National Bank. But the great Bowlesby was correct. The great Bowlesby was right when he simply said, do one at midseason and then do the final one. But when ESPN does these prediction shows week after week, all it does is just bring up all the conspiracy theories, and they do things, they set the board based on kind of what they want to do in the future. And so now we'll see what happens with the Notre Dame Miami. And you'll love this, Scotty. I love Stuart Mandel was out there the other day saying, well, they set the precedent. We all remember in 2014. At the very end, they flipped Baylor and TCU and put Baylor 5th and TCU 6th. It didn't matter because they left both of them out of the college football playoff. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. You know, it's like, oh, that sets precedent. Doesn't matter. It was like throwing Baylor a bone. Oh, we're going to go ahead and honor head-to-head. Didn't matter because they weren't in the top 4. Jeez. I mean, did Baylor get a better bowl game that year or something than TCU? I can't even remember. Baylor did get the Cotton Bowl that year. I think that's the year they got beat by Michigan State. They had the lead. They threw the ball to a 400-pound man, and we were all out there celebrating it and going crazy. So anyway, lots to discuss coming out here. And boy, lots of people trying to get to me, Mosley, what are you hearing? What are you hearing on this front? I'm trying to dig in for you guys on the latest on this AD thing. I mean, by the way, I wanted and I thought that we would get President Livingstone, but apparently that was a one and done situation. Let's put her on camera with the Waco trip, who I love, Zach and Bryce. I mean, these are good buddies of mine. Zach and I got some very special moment yesterday at the deal. I mean, I don't try to, I don't want to do a touchdown spike, but we were kind of given some special access, which I loved. But I thought everybody was asking to talk to President Livingstone, including me, and now they've just shut all that down. We did have, Scotty, a few breaking news things. And this one happened, I think, after we had done our show yesterday. So, Scotty, if we want to do some breaking news, sounder, I think okay. Okay. The Baylor coaching staff is already changing. And whether they tried to keep this guy or not, I would not imagine they put up a huge fight given the defensive line's deficiencies this year. Not totally his fault. I mean, they had guys get hurt. They screwed up in the portal. They didn't have enough defensive linemen. It was bad. It was bad up front. Wednesday evening, Coach Brechterfield, the Anoke at Brechterfield, the D-line coach, moved to Oregon State. Again, I don't think Baylor probably put up a huge fight, but he's going to join that staff led by his former coworker at Washington. That's fine. No big problem there. I did want to share with you, Scotty. I was looking for it. Baylor had this was breaking today as well. Let's see if Baylor Football put this up. The Bears did land some players on the all Big 12 team. All right. And the Big 12 Conference Special Teams Player of the Year, the punter, there he is, Palmer Williams. I mean, for a team that loves to go for it and doesn't really ever like to punt, that's pretty amazing that he got that. Let's give him his due. The Sawyer Robertson named Big 12 Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year. All right. Happy for him. Wish he was the player of the year. I mean, certainly came out this year like he had the opportunity to be, and it just didn't totally work out. First team all Big 12. This was kind of interesting to me. I didn't quite expect all these people. Scotty, you've got Michael Trigg, not a surprise. Best tight end Baylor history. Best tight end. Oh, I love it when Scotty puts up a good graphic. Look at that. Look at Trigg. I mean, who would have ever thought after this awful season that the Bears would have 3 on there? Look at that offense. Look at the Bears. And I love it. Josh Cameron deserves it. Fought his rear off, put up great numbers, and is one of the greats, Baylor all-time best. You might call him the best walk-on ever. Sorry, Colin Brent. Sorry, Redding. Sorry if there's some other people I'm not thinking about. But from a walk-on standpoint, wow, one of the great walk-on stories in college athletics. And then Omar Abedian over there. And he was banged up this season, but when he was out there, thought he played especially well as on the offensive line, playing out there and Abedian could move people. Did the O-line have a great year? Did they lose their – no. Did they lose their O-line coach, and was that a little bit of an excuse for it? Not really. I mean, that happened kind of later in the season when some things were imploding. I have been gathering, Scotty, some NIL information, some thoughts on Baylor and where they rank and all that kind of thing. And so I pray and hope that help is on the way. Scotty, the only one I didn't mention there, how about on that on those one of the special teams big awards, Micah Gifford won he was on the first team as a specialist, number 24. Love that for old Micah Gifford. Way to go, Micah. Keaton Thomas, redshirt junior linebacker, was on the second team in the conference. Thought he was going to be on the first team. I think that's probably appropriate. He later in the season had some great games. I even think he was playing pretty well in that loss the other day. He had some good moments in that game. But Keaton Thomas, second team. And let's see, to earn honorable mention. Langell, honorable mention. Colton Price, Jackie Marshall, Devin Bobby, Jacob Redding, LeVar Thornton at DB, Connor Hawkins as kicker. That's fine. That's fine. All those guys had their moments, and that is fine. And then Robertson was also tabbed as semifinalist for the Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year. He's the third Bear program history to earn Big 12 Scholar Athlete of the Year. We had the Bears had Dylan Doyle and Nick Florence, great classroom type folks. All right, and said that Robertson received votes for the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. Okay, he put up huge numbers, so I got no problem with that. So there you go. And then Michael Trigg is a finalist for the 2025 John Mackey Award, honoring the nation's top tight end, and posted the school's best season marks in 50 receptions, 694 receiving yards. I wish we could have played that last game to get him up over 700, and tied for the top spot with 6 receiving touchdowns this season. Also a semifinalist for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. Trigg capped off his Baylor career all-time leader in career receiving yards for a tight end, ranked second in career receptions and touchdowns at the position. Who has the most? Goodness gracious. Somebody had more receptions as a tight end. Ben Sims was around here a long time. Ronnie Lee, the great Ronnie Lee. Don't think I've forgotten, folks. Then he went on to have a decorated career as an offensive tackle for the Miami Dolphins. I do not forget Ronnie Lee in the late 70s. Played a nice tight end for the Bears, but that's interesting because I almost would think Trigg leads the world in everything. So strong show today. Let's take care of, Scotty, certainly of our sponsors today, including Ascension Providence. I know you've got an exciting. Scotty has. You would think, Scotty, what are the people who are always like thinking they're sick or something. Not agoraphobia, hypochondriacs. As many doctors as Scotty has reached out to during the last 2 months, you would think Scotty was like a hypochondriac, but he's not. He's not. He's just done an incredible job managing and visiting with our folks from Ascension Providence. And I'll tell you what, the man who negotiated the Ascension Providence deal, one of the great negotiations in hospital system history. Wow. To get the entire staff on the show, it's been fun. It's been really fun. And I'll tell you what, whenever I hear who it's going to be, I sit right there and watch those interviews because I love to kind of get to the bottom of what Scotty's going to learn today. Could it be a concussion expert? Could it be a pediatric orthopedist? Could it be just a regular orthopedist? Could it be a neuroscientist? Could it be a spine doctor? We've heard from them all, and so we're so appreciative of Ascension Providence, and we'll get that. We'll hear from that a little bit later in the program. Tell you what we'll do, Scotty. Let's take care of our folks, CNB, with those beautiful new ads that they have where the women's basketball team is featured in some of those CNB commercials. Not quite as funny. I like the funny that they were doing, but they'll brush those up. If I know the creative minds at CNB, I promise you we'll have more funny moving forward. But a lot to get to here today. And Scotty, let's not forget, we've got the Schmaltz's trivia question at some point today. It is a Thursday. And of course, I haven't even mentioned this. The Cowboys play the Lions tonight. All sorts of things. And that's what I was just on the Cowherd show talking about. All right. And so we'll be able to play a lot of that for you. Okay. So let's take care of our folks. We'll come back. And Scotty, let's hear from Dave Aranda and react to some of the things he had to say yesterday. And then I've got a college football, a major college football recruiting guru ready to come on with us at 2:00 today. That's Jordan Scruggs from 247 Horns. That's right. The people who took our Jamarian. They took one of our Jamarians, and I will call them to task for that. All that coming up next.